Well, hello. Well, hello there. Hello there, everyone. How are you doing today? I have a question for you. How do you feel about constantly giving away your expertise and or even advice and not getting paid for it? Now, if you're anything like some of the people, especially women leaders and experts who I've been speaking to, a number of them are frustrated, they are tired, and they want a solution. So, if you could relate to somebody who perhaps you've given away your expertise for free, it hasn't turned into warm leads, paying clients, or any opportunities whatsoever, and it hasn't really been a win-win for you, stay tuned. This is for you. So I'm going to be talking about one particular strategy that really made a difference for me back in a day. So I'm hoping that this will really help you. But before I go ahead, I just wanted to mention a few bits and pieces of information. My name is Grace Gladys Famario, and I'm the founder of Multiple Income Women, where I help women leaders and experts become well-paid thought leaders. Now, that's something I'm passionate about. I've been working with women for a number of years, and yeah, it's always a delight. But recently, towards the end of last year and earlier this year, I was getting a lot of women who were quite anxious, as you can imagine, because of what's currently going on, frustrated, worried, stressed out, not sure, what's going to happen with their, their financial situation. And, they were coming to me asking questions, and, some have actually become clients. But, one of the things that I noticed that was a trend was the fact that, they were doing a lot of giving, a lot of serving, a lot of sharing, but there wasn't much coming back in terms of money. Sometimes the matter of money was not mentioned at all. Sometimes it was mentioned and then there was silence in the house, nothing happened. And sometimes it was just, really money? Oh, I thought you were just doing that, to help me out kind of thing. So if that's where you're at, well, I'm going to be sharing you one strategy that really made a difference. Now, just a very quick recap. If you look on my page or my profile, depending on where you're watching this particular video, you'll find that this is the second in a series. I started that series, that conversation just a few days ago. And, the series is really about tackling this issue, but more importantly, how you can flip it on its head and make something come out of it for yourself. So I started that conversation and I was open and honest to say, you know what, been there, done it, fell into that trap whereby I was back in a day, I was getting several phone calls a day to say, can you please help me? And that's how it normally started. Or sometimes, if people met me at speaking engagement, you'd be cornered and it's like, can you help me? And I'm like, sure, how can I help you? And, that conversation then went into, could you tell me how to write a book? And I'm like, really? In 5 minutes? I know I'm Superwoman, no, but I have never, I'm not sure if I can even break that record myself, because some of the things you're asking me has taken me, years. So for example, I was reflecting today and I started flexing my writing muscle back in the noughties. I remember having a column that was with a particular international magazine, and I was writing their columns on a monthly basis. And so there's a number of things I've done, and that's like 21 years ago. So which bit of it do you want me to condense in 5 minutes? And so normally I would then typically respond to say, okay, you know what, if you're not sure, here are the 3 top strategies I would recommend you implement. And I, kind of leave it at that. But before I wisened up, normally I'll have exchanged business cards, then they'll have been chasing me to say, oh, can we still have that chat? And then we have that chat. And that chat could end up being, 1 hour or, multiple 1 hours, and it goes on like forever. And then all of a sudden you're thinking, hold on, I haven't sent this person an invoice. I'm not being paid for any of this, and I'll always say this with a backdrop, I'm sharing all of this with the backdrop here. My personal passion is to help people. I love doing it. It's what I believe is the way I'm wired, and it's what I'm supposed to be doing. And, I will never say never, ever support people, because that's just so wrong. I believe in serving each other with what we have. However, I talked about the perils of this free model, whereby if you think about organizations who are out there who are offering something valuable, just like you as an expert, they can't run their businesses on a free model, and if they have a free model, there has to be a strategy around it. And I mentioned yesterday that when I left Coach University, again in the noughties, many years ago, when I first started coaching clients, I realized I needed to build my brand. I needed visibility. I needed good testimonials, and I wanted to exercise my coaching, exercise my coaching muscles, actually. So I did pro bono work, and there was a clear intention for that. There was a strategy. I did it because I needed, to get those 4 things. But there came a point whereby I had to switch that off and then move into payment mode, or else, what would happen? Okay, so, and that's, some of the things that I've had to do over time. So perhaps you're doing that for a particular reason. Maybe you've got a strategy of your own because you're starting out maybe in a new niche, in a different environment. You're starting out completely new as a coach, or whatever it is. If you have a strategy, fantastic. But just keep in mind that at some point, you're going to need to switch over and start bringing your clients along, those individuals or those conversations, to become paid sessions. Now, yesterday, again, actually it wasn't yesterday, but in the previous episode, I will say, I started to talk about kind of ways that you end up giving free advice. And I talked about free coaching, free mentoring, free training, free, for example, free advice. I had a lady tell me that, she's handed a huge report and then ended up, editing this huge report. Sometimes it could be writing, it could be speaking gigs, which are unpaid. It could be consulting. I know another lady who lost 10 days worth of consulting. Now, assuming she was charging, £500 or dollars a day, that's like £5,000. Now, that can make a significant difference to people's, taking care of their families and their well-being, or paying their mortgages. That's a significant amount. And so I don't want whoever's listening to this take that lightly in any shape or form, that there has to be some form of system, strategy, framework, as well as the tools to help you start to move people along to, paying you for your services or your expertise or your advice. So those are some of the ways that, sometimes we kind of give it out there and we're not even aware that, we're doing it. In fact, I was speaking to another lady who was considering coming on my Monetize Your Expertise bootcamp, which is starting in April. So if there's any women leaders or experts in the house where you really want to take your expertise and just create a business or a side hustle using what you already know, because remember, you're doing it anyway for free. So if you want to learn the frameworks, the systems, the tools on how to do this, there's going to be a link around this video. By all means, get involved. It starts in April. The closing date is very soon. We only have a few spots left, and a number of spots have actually gone. So, if you want to get in there, look at the links around this video. But going back to what I was saying earlier on, it's really about you maximizing what you currently have so that you could turn that into something profitable. And that's what we're going to be looking at over this series now. Okay, so as I said yesterday, I kind of shared my story. I talked about how we fall into that trap and sometimes the reasons why as well, in terms of the guilt trips, feeling like, oh, I must always give, to people, and a whole raft of other things. But, check out the links around this video and the other videos so you can, just get up to speed in terms of where we're at. So today, I just wanted to very briefly tell you one of the strategies that I put in place that made a phenomenal difference to what I was doing. It was a game changer. So this is a game changer. Now, remember, for those who may or may not necessarily know, I've been writing books, and I think my first one came out in 2006, and that kind of like brought me out into the limelight. So there's me, kind of a bit of an introvert, still am, but I learned to flip things and adapt my behaviors and my mindsets when I need to. So here I am today. Okay, but so all of a sudden, this author was thrown into the limelight, asked for speaking engagements, TV, radio interviews. I had a book tour in the Caribbean, so many things happening. And people started to ask me, for help. They would say things like, oh, could you, I want to write a book, help me. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Because I was passionate and I'm still am passionate about having women package their messages into profitable, or what I call multiple income books. Okay. That for me is just, one of the things I live for. I have to be honest, packaging your message in a way that will be of value to your audience and make a tangible difference in their lives. So we'll put that on the side. Okay. So I was being thrown into the limelight. All of a sudden, lots of things to do. People are asking me, Grace, could you help me with this? And And, I was finding myself, going in so many different directions. But one of the key things that happened was that question I've said earlier on is Grace, can I speak to you for 5 minutes? Sure. How do I write a book? And I'm like, okay, so but in that answer, I do actually have a major course. One of my signature courses one's on self-publishing, one's on writing books, the one's on setting up your self-publishing company, and a whole raft of courses around writing and publishing, self-publishing in particular. So again, I'll park that to the side. But again and again, I was getting those, can I speak to you for 5 minutes? How do I write a book? And I'm sure you have experienced the same thing. Maybe you're known for something or the other, some form of expertise, and when I say expertise and experience, by the way, it could be, so for example, let's look at the idea of your experience. It could be your life experiences. It could be your professional experiences. So, I have friends who are accountants, and somebody said, oh, can you just have a look at my books? As you do. Well, this is going to take me like hours to wade through your books and, your accounts and things like that. I had another person I spoke to a few days ago said, she's just realized, kind of woken up to the fact that she's been offering business startup mentoring for free for the last 10 years. 10 years, and she was saying that, some of those relationships will actually go on for an extended period of time. 10 years. Imagine one person, but I'm not saying one person lasts for 10 years, but imagine all that effort for 10 years. So what am I saying? I'm saying the chances are you are noticing people asking for specific things time and time again, right? Okay, so here is a simple solution, right? Simple. This thing, as I said, really was a game changer, and it started me on this journey. Simple. Start to compile some of those questions that people ask you regularly. So for me, it was, how do I write a book? Now, so I thought, okay, so what are some of the things they're not sure what their issues are because they haven't started writing. They're not sure, what to do or not to do. So how about compiling, some form of resource where they can get information very quickly? So for example, how do I write a book? Okay, we're not gonna, there's no way I'm going to be able to do that, but there's a couple of things that I would suggest you do. Number one, have a specific audience in mind, because I would get people say, who you writing, when I ask them, who you writing for? Everybody, there are billions of people in the world, really? Seriously? Everybody? No. Okay, rewind. Let's go back to the drawing board. So that's one of the things I always get them to think about. Who are you writing for? Number two, have a niche that you want to work in. Don't try and do fitness, well-being, business, self-help and theology and everything all in one. Focus on one particular niche. Another thing I always tell, one of my top 3 tips is make sure that you are tackling a specific solution or a need or an opportunity, because people are online, like on Google, looking for answers for something, like I do. So for example, how do I use Zoom? And then there's 101 videos and resources online. So people are looking for solutions. So I then realized, actually, those are like the top 3 things that I think are valuable for people to know when they come to me for those, can you help me write a book? So what did I do? I gathered that information added a bit more information to it, and I created a free resource, an ebook. Okay, you can make it PDF, you can make it whatever you want. In fact, I do have a course. Have a look around the link to this video. I actually have a course whereby you can actually create yourself free ebooks, decent qualities, great covers, okay, on Canva for free. Okay, the course is not free, by the way, but I'm saying you can actually create the ebook for free without needing any other tools. Okay, so have a look at the video link. But anyway, going back to my story, the strategy I adopted is to start compiling short resources to help people on their journey. And, so when people say, can I have a 5-minute session? I'm like, yeah, no worries. You know what? Give me your email address, or better still, because in the early days when I hadn't had the system in place, I'll say, give me your email address and then I'll send it to you. Notice I was creating more work for myself. Okay, more work for myself. No. So I started to do a smart thing. I started to build myself landing pages. And yes, I do that too. So if you need any support, get in contact. Okay. So I started to build myself landing pages. And I'll say, you know what, go and check out, Grace the author / get paid. Have a look, download the resource, and you can get whatever you need. And you know what, that was for me, was the game changer. And so every time I noticed that people had specific challenges around certain subjects or the other, guess what? I would create a certain product. It could even be, by the way, it doesn't have to be an ebook. It could be a checklist, a quick FAQ, whatever you feel, would serve the people that are asking these questions. Put it in the resource and then make it available. But don't do what I did again. I made a mistake. Give me your email and I'll email it to you. So I'm going back to my office, either emailing at night or getting my PA to do the same thing. It's like, no, you're creating more work. So had it online and they can actually download the resource themselves. So for me, that was a game changer. And as I keep going on my personal journey and professional journey, when people, when I do new things, so for example, some people might know that I'm also a justice of peace or a magistrate, and I'm always asking people to join because we always need support and resources, such as people like yourself to help us. And so, I'll get people saying, so what do I need to do? Oh, do I get paid? And how often do I need to sit as a magistrate? So guess what Grace did? I learned. I learned the tricks. Okay, so I created an ebook, and again, it's available. I can't remember the link off the top of my head, but if you're interested, drop me a message on Messenger or whatever, and then I'll send you the link. But again, landing page, go and visit. Now, there's a strategy to all of that. I will deal with that in another episode, but I just wanted to, give you a resource, a tool that really for me was a game changer. And it meant I was able to still support people, but without it affecting my working day or the other things that I had to do. And also it was, pointing them in the right directions and saying, these are the top 3 things. If you were to just apply these things, it will make all the difference for you. So I'm hoping that this has actually helped you in terms of you starting to relieve yourself from, the frustrations of doing all this extra hard work and not getting paid for it or not getting any visibility or new clients from it. Create resources that could help the people that are asking questions so that they could use those resources to help themselves. And if they, in fact, another benefit of that is when they see the value that you're offering, guess what? They might just come back and say, you know what? I think you are the person to help me. And why am I saying that? Because it has happened to me time and time again. By offering that resource, number one, they realize, oh my God, she's got some form of expertise. I didn't know that. I wonder what else she has that could help me. So, all these things, and, people start to think, actually, you know what? And then they pass it on and pass it on and pass it on. And other people say, well, actually, I heard from blah, 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 that you can help me do da, da, da. And this is how it starts. This whole ecosystem of generating clients and working less and earning more down the line. So I'm hoping that little tidbit helped you to get you to, move you forward with regards to clawing back some of your time, but more importantly, implementing systems, frameworks, and tools to help you use your expertise in a way that will be a win-win for both yourself and the people you serve. Now, stay tuned to future episodes. I've got lots of other goodies that I'm going to be sharing with you, some other tips that really just changed the way I worked. It changed everything. So if that's of interest to you, by all means, check out the links around this video. Now, as I said, I'm all about helping women. And I have this fantastic boot camp coming up very soon called Monetize Your Expertise, the 90-day boot camp. This is a rapid implementation pilot program where I'm looking to work with just a handful of women leaders or experts. And by the way, that could be coaches, trainers, consultants, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, business owners, speakers, the whole wrap. So if you fit into that category, you know what, I'm looking to work with you, and I'm going to be working with you to give you that framework, to give you the systems, and to give you the tools to help you start making money from your expertise. And now some people may say, well, actually, I already have a job. Well, okay, I also help people create side hustles. Now, no one's ever going to say no to extra money, right? So if that's something that's of interest to you, it starts in April, okay? So this is not one of those times you procrastinate, and the spots have already started to go. We only have a few left. So if you want to be part of that, by all means, check out the links around this video, and then it will, number one, it will take you to a particular landing page. You can find more information, you can apply, and then it will come to me, and then we'll have a talk to make sure that there's a fit for the program. And you know what, we'll get you going. So if that's of interest to you, by all means, get involved and click the links. And last but not the least, you know what? As I said, because I had a number of people talking about this challenge around working for free, giving their advice and their expertise for free, I've created also another resource called How to Get Paid for Advice and Expertise that you're currently giving away for free. It's free of charge. So again, I'm offering it to individuals who feel that might be of use to them. There's a link around this video. By all means, get that resource, and I'm hoping it will support you. So that's it from me. Once again, this is Grace Gladys Famaria here. I'm the founder of Multiple Income Women, and I help women leaders and experts become well-paid thought leaders. I'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for joining. Bye.